everybody. Hello, welcome again to another episode of the Coffee Break. I'm here as usual with my friend Tom. What's up, Tom?
Hey guys, how's it going?
How are you? How's it going? How's everything?
Great, absolutely great, man.
Yeah, you're always great. You're
Yeah,
never like I've heard someone say someone was asked how are you? He said not that bad, and I liked it. I like the
Not that bad is Russian for pretty good.
not that bad. Or he said not he didn't say not that bad. He said like not everything is terrible, something like that. Which is I think it's more realistic than saying great, right?
It's maybe more realistic, but it's a bit depressing.
So how are you? How have you been? What have you done? Where have you been? Where have you traveled?
I'm good, man. So it was Passover vacation. I went to Denmark, of course, to visit Tanya, my wife. It was great. We were traveling on this little island. It's funny. It's called Fyn.
What?
Fyn. That's what it's called.
Fyn?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know how they do that vowel. But it's on the map. It's FYN, and it's a little island. It was amazing weather. It was really great. Yeah, we did like.
I never heard someone say Denmark and amazing weather in the same sentence.
No,
before.
man, the spring and summer in Denmark is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Really beautiful. So we traveled a bit. It was really fun. Actually, I bought some silver.
Okay, in Denmark?
No, just online.
Oh, okay.
But I brought it back to Israel. I shipped it to Israel.
What's the point of buying silver?
So okay, it's a bit complicated, but I'll touch it like briefly. So basically, in older times, in most countries around the world, the currency that you're using, so let's say dollars or euros or whatever, that would have been a promise to receive actual money later on, which would be silver or gold. So you could go to a bank with your dollars or with your pounds if you're in the UK or whatever, and you could get gold for that.
I know that for a long time the dollar was connected to the gold, right?
Yes.
The golden fort something.
The golden standard. I'm not sure what it was
There's
called.
a place.
Exactly,
There was a place called Fort
Knox.
Maybe.
Okay, that's where they keep all the gold.
Yes.
Okay.
There and so every dollar has to be backed by gold. So if you would print a dollar, it would have to be like it couldn't exceed the value of the gold that they have. Well, now we're in credit land.
Yes. So basically, almost I think every country around the world. I'm not aware of a country that doesn't do it. So the way they work is that they have fiat currencies, which is basically they print their money. So they print pieces of paper and they tell you this is money. Use this. And they all do what's called deficit spending, which means every year they spend more than they actually make in taxes. So they take loans.
Okay.
That's what every country around the world does. And the whole system is based on trust. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I'm not saying that anything is going to happen, but historically there was never a fiat currency that survived for a very, very long time. So I'm thinking, just in case, buy some gold, buy some silver, why not? Like diversify your portfolio,
Okay.
I have some investments.
So you like to have goods. You like to have actual goods.
Because I'm a greedy Jew.
Maybe you shouldn't tell people outside Israel that you're buying silver.
Exactly, we'll keep it all to us.
I'm a banker and
yeah, exactly.
keep it all to us.
No, I'm kidding.
Don't tell the Goyas.
Yeah, but it was great. No, but the thing is that, we have a lot of examples throughout history of countries just printing, just running the printing press and printing a lot of money until they collapse financially.
Yeah.
So, and since every country around the world is doing that right now, I figured, what the hell if I take...
Yeah, now I read an article recently about the credit crisis in the United States and how it's going to lead to another economic crisis, possibly. Mm-hmm. I can't remember all the details now, but basically there's too much credit. They're giving too much credit.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
But,
okay. Yeah, but how about you?
Passover.
What have you been doing?
Not much. Yeah, we had a vacation. Passover. It's the
Yeah.
Jewish version of Easter. Right? Is Easter and Passover actually connected in any way?
Well, I mean, we say Pesach and they say Pascha. Like in Danish, for example, it's Påske.
Yeah,
It's
but,
funny.
but what is
Is
the,
it? Oh, is it connected like holiday wise? No,
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
it's
not,
connected.
right?
I don't think it's connected. We celebrate that we were brought out of Egypt, out of slavery, into the Promised Land.
Yeah,
And they celebrate a bunny with chocolate eggs. I'm not really sure what's up with that.
they like to have like fictional characters, right?
Yeah. It seems like a
Christians.
motive, you know, like a rabbit with a bunny with chocolate eggs, a big fat man dressed in red that brings presents,
Yeah,
a guy on a cross
Yeah,
that
it's a
wakes up 3 days after he dies. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, whoa, incoming pissed Christians. Because I always find it strange how there's like holidays at the same time, right? Like Christmas and Hanukkah, which are, or like a lot of religions have like holidays around the same times, like the spring holiday, the winter holiday.
Yeah.
That's always connected somehow to light, right? The winter holiday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess maybe we just like adopted those like times for as Jews. Like we saw that other religions have their holidays around like spring and winter and stuff. So we just like connected it to our
Well, I don't know specifically.
like to our story.
I don't know specifically about Judaism, but a lot of the because I don't know about, there are not many religions that are alive today that date before Judaism.
Mhm.
But I know for a fact that Christmas comes on the dates that it comes because it was a Germanic pagan holiday.
Mhm.
It was called Yule. That's actually also how they say Christmas still in Scandinavia. So Denmark, Norway, Sweden.
Yeah.
And it's basically to celebrate the shortest day of the year.
Yeah.
What else? I don't remember exactly. Yeah, but I mean,
It's interesting anyway. So we had Passover here. Just a normal holiday, I guess.
I
You
think it's a
can't
great
eat.
holiday.
You can't eat bread.
Yeah.
Of course, I ate bread.
You gotta eat the matzah,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a thin.
It's
cracker.
interesting, here we're recording right now in a co-working space in Tel Aviv, and there's if people know WeWork, and we're in a WeWork co-working space, and there's beer here. There's like a beer tap,
Yeah.
and they closed it during Passover. I don't know if it's something that happens anywhere else, but in Israel, many holidays have their restrictions, and public places usually follow those restrictions, even though the population, obviously not everyone follow those. So you can't eat, let's say, bread or wheat, products that are made of wheat
Mhm.
in Passover, and a lot of people do, but public places usually don't serve or close. And there's also a fine, actually, if you serve wheat products, but here in WeWork, they closed the beer tap, and a lot of people were mad. I don't know about that. They brought like a keg of wine instead, like a big like pile,
Yeah.
like a big, like a box of wine.
Yeah. A wine
And,
box.
but not a wine box in term that the wine is shitty. The wine was fine, but
Yeah,
it's
the
just
wine
like,
was fine. It was just
like
big,
a tap, like
yeah.
a tap, like a wine
Okay.
tap, instead of the beer tap.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. They work in so many different places, and it's enough that one of their branches is not kosher for Passover that they could lose actually a lot of business in many different places. So maybe it's better for them to just.
Yeah, but the place is not kosher. I mean, I ate bread here. I ate. People bring whatever they want here. I don't know. It's just kind
but
of
just
like,
because they can't, they don't enforce everything. But I mean,
I'm just saying, like, I don't mind it. People were pissed. I don't mind it so much. I just think I don't know if it's something that happens anywhere else in the world. I don't know if like any other public place actually enforce like religious laws.
Well, it depends where, because if you're looking at the Western world, most places there are based on Christianity, and in Christianity, you don't need to do all of these. Like that's the kind of like the reformation of Christianity from Judaism, because Jesus was Jewish.
Whoa, hold on.
Well, he was Jewish.
I'm joking.
And basically the idea is that, okay, all the commandments that Jews have to do from God, that's canceled. You just have to have faith. That's the idea. basically. I mean, okay, that's a very oversimplified explanation, but basically that's the idea. That's why they can eat pork, they can eat milk and meat together, like cheeseburger. Basically.
Yeah, I guess there's not as much restrictions in Christianity as in.
Not as much. I mean, also it depends if you're Protestant or Catholic or Greek Orthodox or whatever. I don't know. I don't know too much about it. So but overall, it's a fun holiday, man.
Passover is nice. It's a long holiday, right?
It's a long holiday.
It's a celebration. Like there's big meals and you drink a lot, and I guess it's fine.
I think there's a lot of Jewish holidays like that. No, you eat a lot, you drink a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Jewish holidays are always around food.
A lot of food.
Food and alcohol.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had the
Holocaust
last week or this week. The Holocaust Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm. It's a different date than the rest of the world. In Israel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's the date that they commemorated around the world,
but it's sometimes during the winter, I think.
Maybe.
Isn't it it was lately, like February or something?
Yeah, I think it was recently, but I don't remember exactly. But we commemorated on the date of the Warsaw Ghetto Rebellion. I don't know if the uprising. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
So and anyway,
you wanted to tell about the project.
So there's a project on Instagram. I don't have Instagram, by the way, so I don't know too much about it. So you know more about it than me, I guess. So correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. But there's so basically I'm not even sure who did it, but there's
it's a guy. It's a
guy. It's some guy.
Is
it a girl? I think it's a girl.
I've seen an interview with the guy.
I've seen an interview with a girl.
I'm guessing it's a team, but some sort of producer or producing company.
And what they did, they basically said, okay, what if we take a girl during the Holocaust, but let's say that she had Instagram. How would she document her life?
Yes.
Basically. So they pick a girl named Eva. It's a real girl. I think from Hungary. And I'm not sure exactly what's her story.
I mean, she wrote a diary like Anne Frank. But
so that's how they know, I guess.
Basically they uploaded stories to. They opened an account for Eva. They uploaded stories. So they uploaded her story, or they documented her story through her diary. And
it's all actors.
Well, yes, they produced a series of stories. Mm-hmm. Those stories are based on her story that they know because she wrote the diary, and it's like based on her diary. Yeah. Her actual diary. Yeah. And it's well, we say stories, but it's more like a film, like in a story form, because it's not like people who upload stories using like their phone or something. It's very, very well produced and with actors, and it's very cinematic. Yeah. I heard. I haven't seen anything yet. I've seen like a trailer for it, like an advertisement. I guess it's not a trailer. Yeah, I've seen some.
But I heard it's good. Like it went viral. It's all over.
Yeah, they have like a million followers by now or something, and like 100 million views or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very viral. And
and I have to be honest, like a lot of the reactions I've seen before this was actually uploaded, when it was just commercials and things like that. Are you bringing it up? Yeah. Bring it up, Jamie. Bring it up.
It's Ava.stories. That's the account.
And a lot of the reactions.
They have 1.2 million followers. They had 900K yesterday. 1.2 million now. They don't have any stories now, though. I've seen some yesterday. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it was just like the Holocaust Day. But they have. They have like. So there's a way. See, this is Instagram. Okay.
Instagram Teach me, master.
Here are the photos, and if you wanna watch a story, you just press here on the portrait. Yeah. It has like a circle around it.
Okay.
Like
I bet all the listeners are like, wow, this guy's really stupid. He doesn't know how Instagram works. But I was like, I never got into
that. But here, so these disappear every 24 hours, right? Okay. So they can upload after 24 hours. It disappears. So now they don't have anything. See, I press. There's no circle around.
Well, what if I want to see what they previously put up?
So here, this is called like favorites or highlights or something like that. So here you can highlight like stories, and they stay. So all right, I see. They highlighted. So they have like credits. Yeah. Eva, June, May 30th, May 31st, May 30, May 28. So like I think they have like a series of stories for each day in her diary.
Yeah.
See, and this is like
Okay.
I guess it's shot like sort of like
Yeah. All right, that's pretty cool.
I guess it's kind of shot like it's on a phone.
On a phone, exactly.
But look at the like costumes and the setting.
Yeah, and actors and everything.
And
so
actors.
the thing is that
It's
a
very
lot of the
cinematic.
reactions I've seen when it was just like commercials for the like advertisements for this thing, they were pretty negative. I heard a lot of people got angry. I was like, why would you, like forget about Instagram for a second. Let's, focus on the day and everything like that. But I think it's a very good idea of how to make people engage more on the topic.
Yeah, I think people at first like they heard like Holocaust on Instagram and stories, which is something kind of low, let's say, as a form of
Yeah, it kind of lowers
media.
Yeah.
And so people heard like stories, Instagram and Holocaust together, and they were like, well, that's strange. It seems like it's bringing down the whole conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when people saw
It lowers the quality of the conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think when people saw the actual I don't know, not product, but the actual
the
like,
videos, the product,
videos,
like what's actually
videos
happening
themselves. Yeah, when people saw it, they understood that it's not some kind of. I mean, it's taken very, very seriously. It's a very serious production.
there. Yeah.
And
Also very detailed.
Yeah. And I guess we're living in a new world with new possibilities, and there's new ways of portraying things.
Yeah.
That are fine. And someone said that the guy who made it said in some interview that Instagram has bullshit and like cats and shit like every other social media platform.
Yeah.
But it also has serious things.
Yeah,
You can show serious things on Instagram. I mean, there are accounts who are completely like serious and even like kind of sad or stuff like that. So why wouldn't you be able to talk about something like the Holocaust?
It's a bit like you go on YouTube and you can find cat videos and you can find lectures. You know, so it depends what you want.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about this.
At the end of the day, it's a very creative and smart way to portray things.
Yeah, so I think definitely if you have Instagram, you should check it out.
Eva.stories, EVA.stories.
Okay, cool, man. That's really cool. Actually, another thing I wanted to talk about, which is not related at all, is Israeli doctors managed to use a 3D printer and printed a heart. And they also printed
a functioning heart.
Like a functioning heart. I think so I'm not sure if it's a functioning human-sized heart. I think it's for rats.
All right.
But that's still pretty amazing.
So now we can save rats that have high blood pressure and high cholesterol.
Yeah, well, yes. Or you could keep developing that and save humans.
If a rat sit around all day, eat pizza and smoke cigarettes, then by the time he's 45, he can get a new heart.
And I know that I heard they 3D printed a vertebra, and they actually put it in, so that they did in a human. They did a surgery and it's working, like it's functioning.
So that's in your back, right? In your spine.
Yeah, in your spine. So that's a vertebra.
So that's the part that connects like the. So there's the spine, right? It's like a bone, and it has between those small bones. There's those like parts.
No, so you have your spinal cord.
Yeah.
And so you have the nerves that go through that basically run through your back, and then you have the vertebrae, which are the bones around it. They're a bit circular, I guess.
Like a hockey puck.
A little bit, yeah. Okay. And they run all the way from the top of your neck all the way down to your buttocks, basically.
But do you change those?
Well, not actually your buttocks, but a bit above. But
so if someone if someone, I don't know, can you lose those or?
Well, if you
get transplant,
you can break them, and a lot of the times the problem is when you have a prolapsed disc. So between these vertebrae, you have discs of what's it called?
I know the word in Hebrew.
I forgot the name. I forgot the name for it in English.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
It's like a weird.
Wow, I can't believe I forgot.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Bring it up, Jamie.
Cartilage?
Yes, exactly, cartilage.
Cartilage.
Yeah, so you have discs of that, and then so when you move, the pressure is on those. They basically they absorb all the pressure, and if that wears out or it's out of place, it's a lot of pain.
Resilient and smooth elastic tissue.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but it's pretty amazing. I mean, the medical innovation in Israel is insane. Like the things that they invent here is
Biotech and stuff.
It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Medtech.
Yeah. No, really, it's
the
insane.
heart is I think is the really crazy thing.
The heart is amazing.
The heart, it's not just. I mean, I'm guessing that those how do you call them, vertebrae?
Vertebrae. Yeah.
Vertebrae. It's a weird word.
Yes.
I'm guessing they're like discs, right? Or they're like we said, like a hockey puck or something. They're like bone, basically.
They're a bone, yeah.
But heart is functional. It has like different kinds of tissues, right? And it's a muscle. It needs to move in a certain way. It needs to have a certain force.
Yes, but also one of the good things is that what it shows is that we are on a way, and hopefully we'll get there relatively soon, but I don't know exactly how long it will take, but you won't need, eventually there's a good chance you won't need organ donors.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, or you would need, let's say, a few organ donors, and then from their organs you could just recreate more and more and more organs. And then if you're that blood type and you need that type of organ, or you need this type of whatever, and then so they have that, and it's like a giant warehouse of organs basically, and then you don't need to wait in line. You just you get it, and you go home. Pretty much, yeah.
Excuse me, I need a heart.
I need a liver. Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm waiting here for 10 minutes already. I need a heart. Can I get some service? Hello?
Yeah, actually, I saw a very, very interesting TED talk by this Israeli professor. I forgot his name. I'll look it up and I'll let you know. But basically, he's talking about decision making. Okay. And all the research that they've done shows that people are.
Wait, isn't it Kahneman? The Economist?
It might be. I honestly I can't remember. He
talks a lot about decision making, but in economic related topics.
Maybe.
Or like the psychology behind the economy, or the decisions people make.
So I'm not sure if that's him, but basically, okay. So I'll give you an example that he gave in the lecture.
Yeah.
So there were two groups. One group goes into super extra pizza shop.
Yeah.
And the other group goes to basic regular pizza.
Is it this one? Daniel Kahneman?
I mean, it might be. I need to see a picture.
The riddle of experience versus memory?
Wait, let me see. No, I don't think it's him. I don't think this is this guy. But anyway, so in the first group, okay, so the big super extra pizza, you get all the toppings, and you need to tick what you want off from the list.
Yeah.
On the other one, you get a regular pizza, and you need to tick what you want on.
Yeah.
And then turns out that and obviously for every topping that you have on the pizza, you pay more money.
Okay.
So it turns out that the group that had to tick off ate a lot more.
Sounds like Daniel Kahneman.
Okay, so maybe it is him, and I just really can't recognize. Like but basically, so the group that had to tick off ate a lot more and ended up paying a lot more than the group that had to tick on what they want.
Yes.
And so another thing that he was talking, and I'm just bringing it to the organs, is that in Sweden, you have to sign a document if you want to not donate your organs. And in Denmark...
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And in Denmark, you have to sign a document if you want to donate your organs, like in Israel.
Yes.
So in Sweden, their donation rate is at like 86%.
Yeah.
And in Denmark, it's around 4%.
Yes.
And I think it's the same in Israel. So it just shows you like you could save so many more lives just by changing one little thing. Instead of signing for, you have to sign against, basically.
Israel has there's an issue in Israel. I don't know if it's like, maybe it's in Christian countries as well, but religious people in Israel don't like to, or I mean, it's somehow against the religion to donate organs. Like you have to keep your body. I guess it's because there's, you know what I'm talking about? I think religious people in general are against donating their organs. I think it's because when the Day of the Dead comes, or I don't know how to call it.
When they rise from death.
Yeah. When God brings back all the dead to life, then you need to have all your organs for that day or something like that.
So there might be some people that believe in that. I heard of two main reasons. The first one, and just so you know, the people that donate kidneys the most are religious people. They donate them while they're alive because they're saving lives, which is a mitzvah. It's a good deed kind of thing. Yeah. But the problem is that in there's also a religious way in Judaism of confirming death, which is, I'm not sure exactly. We learned it and I forgot, it was like 4 years ago, which is different from the current way in Israeli hospitals that you verify death. And so... But
the organs are donated after the death is verified. How is it connected to
So what I'm saying is that according to Jewish law, there's a slightly different way of verifying death, and according to the law of hospitals, there's another way. And so the conflict makes the person choose whether they go with their faith or with donating, and that creates a problem. So really, I just think we need a slight adaptation of the law to fix that.
I'm not sure anyone cares, though.
That's the problem. Most people don't care. That's the thing.
I don't think...
no one's going to vote on an elections on that topic.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and politicians doesn't
But that's
really
why.
care about it anyway.
That's the thing. That's why I think the idea is that you elect a government that is good enough to handle these kind of decisions while you run on your daily life. That's, but... I think you'll find that there are problems like this all over the world.
Soon enough, we'll have the warehouse. Soon enough, we'll have the shop, though, right? The organ shop. Soon enough. I mean, how long it is you think until we can print a human being?
Nah, it will take a long time.
I mean, I'm not saying print the soul and the consciousness and everything, but what, you want to break?
Okay, I can.
You can print a full. You can print the brain, you can print the whatever, you can print the...
I don't think we're close to that. I think we are close to certain organs that
isn't the heart one of the most complicated things? Once you print the heart, how hard can it be to print I don't know, a hand?
Well, okay, so first of all, we're going way off topic, but so right now, medicine and innovation are on a crossroad between, which actually, it's not that they have to pick, so maybe crossroad is not the best way of putting it, but on one side, you have extremely developing, technology that's developing very, very fast to create organs. Mm-hmm. And on the other hand, you have technology that is developing very, very fast to replace organs. So, for example, we already have in the world bionic arms, like you see on Star Wars.
Yeah.
So we have that.
Yeah.
We know how to do that. And legs, that's not really going to be a problem. The U.S. military is working on an exoskeleton prototype. So it's basically, I don't know if suit is the best way of putting it, but it's a type of gear that you put on your body, which will allow you to run faster, jump higher, carry heavier loads, and it's working on hydraulics and things like that. I'm not an expert on it, so I don't want to say, but it will allow you to carry a lot more. But for example, so a heart, yes, it is complicated, but we also know a lot about it. A brain, for example, would be a lot harder.
The brain
a
is
hand
the real
wouldn't
issue.
be necessarily that difficult because you have a bone structure, you have tendons, so it's very easy to understand how it works. You have strings that pull on bones, and that's it. That's basically how it moves. If you can do that, it's not a problem.
But the brain is the big
the
issue.
brain,
right?
that's a really big issue. Yeah, that's a big issue because we don't understand exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Which is a problem, but we're getting there.
Isn't it crazy? It's like I feel like that if we don't know anything about the brain, we don't know. It's like the brain is like 90% of us, right? It's 90% of who we are. Like, is the brain. It's the thought, the personality, everything. Like,
But
the rest is like a shell, right?
And
we don't know almost anything about it. So it's like we don't know almost anything about ourselves.
Yeah. So I think in one of our next episodes I'll bring an expert that knows more than this about me. But we're just only now starting to realize how important are your gut bacteria, the bacteria in your colon.
Yeah.
In your intestines, in your digestive system.
Yeah.
Only now we start understanding how important these are. So I'll give you an example. They took thin mice and fat mice, okay, and then they took the bacteria from the feces, from the poop of the thin bacteria. Of the thin mice, They took the bacteria from that and they injected it to the guts of the fat mice, and the fat mice became thin.
Damn.
Yeah.
Could it work on me? Can I take some from you?
I was about to say. So it's not that if you fat you can just stop, or like don't have to worry about diet and working out, but it's possible that if you have big sugar cravings, maybe there's something wrong with your gut bacteria. So we don't. But we should bring an expert on that. It's a fascinating subject.
Do you know an expert on gut bacteria?
Well, not necessarily an expert, but I know people that know more than me about it. So yeah. Actually, I wanted to bring up a huge celebration coming to Israel.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's so funny. Like the Eurovision, this song contest that nobody cares about unless we win.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, forget about it. Nobody cares.
I mean, I don't know if nobody cares about it. Like the last Eurovision, me and my girlfriend were watching, obviously, and
which I brought you two together, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Give it a rest. So we were watching and we heard like shouts from the apartments next to us and like the building. People
we won.
Well, yeah, it's because Israel won, but a lot of people were watching.
Oh yeah, because deep down we always want to win, but when we lose, we're like, nobody cares about it, whatever, It's a bit like in the Olympics. Like how many times? I mean, okay, maybe you specifically haven't, but I heard so much like over the past, let's say, 2 years or so about the Israeli gymnastics team because they've been winning so many medals.
Yeah.
But before that, nobody really cared,
Yeah.
Yeah. But this, I mean, everyone's saying that our song this year is pretty boring.
Yeah, the Eurovision is it has a specific crowd, that specific crowd enjoys partying. Every time you bring like a slow song or like a sad song or like kind of an emotional song to the Eurovision, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and it can be a great song. It just doesn't really. It just doesn't work. Yeah.
It needs to have, power into it. It needs to have some sort of like a celebration.
It became from like it's not just about the music. It's also about the like. Is there a message behind the song? Who is the singer? Is it like a powerful person, an interesting person, things like that? But
there's so let's to recap. Israel won last year's Eurovision,
Yes.
and now this year the Eurovision is here in Israel,
Yeah.
and it's this month in like 2 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's in, and I think 14th of May. That's when it's happening.
And like everything that's going on in Israel, there's always big controversy around it, or
yeah.
it's like do you know about all the funding, the whole?
Yeah, like something about the government. They wanted it to be in Jerusalem.
There's that.
Okay.
There's that, and there's so Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, and usually the Eurovision is in the capital of the country that it's hosted.
Yeah.
But
not always.
Our government made it. Usually, our government made it. Made like a big political event, a big political thing of it, and how it's gonna be in Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is this, Jerusalem is that, and it's there's a lot of argument around Jerusalem anyway.
Yeah.
So the Eurovision, like the organization that it's the European Broadcasting Agency, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I
and
think I know
they're the one organizing it, and they weren't very pleased. And
surprise.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to, because it's not a political event. That's the
of
thing.
course, yeah,
it's a singing contest,
yeah.
and they didn't like the fact that it was made into a political thing,
right?
With
Understandably,
political meaning, yeah,
understandably.
And so it was moved to Tel Aviv, but then according to the rules of the contest, it needs to be funded by the government of the hosting country,
right?
And here in Israel, we don't like to pay for things. We just like to take credit. So, of course, the government took credit, and there's a lot to gain for the country in terms of tourism and taxes paid. And it's like having
it's a boost to your income. You make a little investment, but you get a lot of tourism.
It's like having the European World Cup here. I don't know.
Well, not exactly, but yeah.
It's having a big, huge event that brings a lot of tourists.
And it brings up the name of the country a lot, and So.
Yeah, so there was a lot to gain, but nobody wanted to pay. So the country basically said to the Israeli, it's organized locally by the Israeli Broadcasting Agency, the government broadcasting agency.
Yes.
And or like the public.
Which is owned by the government.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not run by the government. It's
but it's like the BBC.
The public broadcasting agency, and according to the rules of the contest, the government has to fund it. Basically, our government said to the broadcasting agency, they said, well, you have your budget. We are giving you a budget, or pay from your budget. But it's like, it costs like, I don't know, tens of millions of euros.
Yeah.
They don't have that kind of budget.
Yeah.
So they said, well, we can't. We don't have. Yeah. I mean, if we pay for this, we can't broadcast for the entire year. We don't have enough money.
So what? How do they solve it?
The government said, so they solved it by they agreed that it's like part of it's paid by the public broadcasting agency, like 10%, which is completely against the rules.
Yeah.
But somehow it works. I don't know.
Okay.
And the rest is paid by different offices of the government. So some of it by the tourism ministry, some by the whatever, I don't know. The I can't remember. The culture ministries. I mean, like 4 different kinds of ministries. Well, I mean, the problem is, even after they agreed on it, it took a long time for those. I mean, it takes a lot of coordination between different offices, government offices, and that's always a pain.
Always a problem.
Yeah, and it took a lot of time for the money to actually get there, and then they started preparing late, and there was like the big fiasco when the police needed to. So they're bringing a lot of equipment from abroad. The competition, and so I mean the organizers of the competition in Europe, and all the different broadcasting agencies in Europe that want to broadcast it to their countries, they're bringing big amounts of equipment, and all of it has to be looked at by the police.
Mhm.
They have to go over and make sure
Inspect it, make
everything
sure it's
is
okay, yeah.
They have to inspect everything, and they need the big budget for it. And they didn't have the
Oh my
budget
God.
until like
so
the last.
basically what you're saying
second.
is that there was Israeli planning followed by Israeli efficiency.
Yes,
Okay,
and then
pretty much.
there was they started sending letters from the European broadcasting agency that if it doesn't get solved in the next day or two, then they won't be ready in time.
Yeah.
And then everything moves slowly.
But it's solved. They
I
solved
guess. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
it. All right. I hope
mean-
hopefully it's solved. So
I mean-
come everybody if you like the Eurovision.
If it did get solved, it was in the last second.
Okay.
And there's the ticket price issue as well, that they charge insane prices for the tickets, much higher than any other country in Europe.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I don't know, 1,500 euros.
No,
for
can't be. No, I think it was 1,500 shekels, and then it was like 355 euros or something. I don't know, something like that.
I think usually they.
I think 1,500 euros is
It's
a
three
lot.
or four times. It's 3 or 4 times the normal ticket price in other countries.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Not to mention the hotels that are obviously charging more.
expensive, yeah.
Anyway, come to the Eurovision, enjoy Israel.
Yeah. I have to be honest, I have a lot of friends that are traveling in Israel now from abroad.
Yeah,
A
people
lot
come.
came. It
Yeah,
became
yeah.
super popular to
Yeah.
travel
Yeah.
in Israel.
Yeah.
You know, guess all this publicity is not that bad after
I mean,
all.
why not? I mean, yeah. But why not travel here? I mean,
No, it's
there's a lot of
amazing. It's
things to do.
amazing. There's a lot of really cool. Actually, speaking of our national broadcasting agency, they recently made a video with 3 brothers. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's really good about like cool places to travel in Israel that most tourists don't know.
Yeah, like what?
They went diving in Chofa Bonim, the Bonim beach.
Yeah.
They went to Daliat El Carmel. They went to, which is a Druze town,
Village.
Druze village, in the north. And
Excellent food.
Next to Haifa, excellent food. And they went, how do you call it, snippling? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you call it? With the cable, when you go down, like a mountain or something. Or
Rappelling.
Yeah.
I rappel down a cliff.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah. So they went in there's a cave somewhere in the north.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
With
about?
the bell cave?
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah.
It's like a hole in the ground.
Yes.
You go down. It's like
Exactly.
a huge cave.
Exactly. And so they went there, and it's a really, really good video. You can also look at it on YouTube. I'm not sure what it's called, but just write like traveling Israel. You'll find something, which is really good. And I think Israel has like pretty amazing things here. And the cool thing is that it's such a small country with such a diverse landscape.
Yeah, it's easy to get around.
Like you can go from snow to desert in like 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Sometimes snow, let's say.
Occasional snow
From
to
occasional snow.
to persistent desert.
Yes.
Occasional green hills to the beach. Depends which direction. you're
Occasional
going.
green hills, mostly dry
Yeah.
hills.
And next week we have so that's a week in 1 week, which is so the Eurovision is in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then next week we have Memorial Day and Independence Day.
Yeah.
So it's
Israel 4th of July.
Yeah, so it's so Yom HaZikaron, Israel, it's Memorial Day, so for all the fallen soldiers and victims of terrorist attacks. And the next day right after it is Independence Day.
Yeah, it's connected.
Yeah, so there's like this 1 minute separation between like the saddest day of the year and like the happiest day of the year.
Yeah.
I think like there is a debate about it where like on the topic where they're asking if they should do it that way, but I think it's actually good that they do it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like that for so long.
Yeah.
I've never really thought about it like in terms of should it be like that or not.
And I mean it's sad, but then it also forces you to just leave the sadness behind.
Yeah, but there's a reason it's connected. It's not just like the reason is because our fallen soldiers allows us to have a state.
Yeah.
So I think that's the connection, right? I'm not the only one saying it.
I also think that's the connection.
Okay, I think it's like known.
Yeah, and I think it's also good because also I really like barbecues. And
yes, my favorite day of the year.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think like there's like an eighth of the meat in Israel is being sold on that, like for that day around that time. But I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe it's not an eighth.
I think it's even more than that. I think it's like a quarter or something.
Nah, a quarter?
It's a lot.
It's a lot of meat. Actually, we do eat a lot of meat on Independence Day.
I think it's like at least a quarter.
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. Usually, people don't like buy like kebabs or something, right? Just for their house. They buy like maybe like I don't know, ground beef or like chicken.
Yeah, not specific.
But
Maybe
they don't like go out and buy like burgers. You know what I mean?
I mean, my family we do, but we eat a lot of meat. So.
But you buy like burgers for your house?
No, we buy steaks.
Ground steaks.
Steaks, yeah, we like steaks. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, no, but it's good, man.
I'm watching a show now.
Yeah.
Speaking about steaks, I'm watching a show on Netflix. It's called Our Planet. Have you heard of it?
Are you turning vegan?
No, it's not vegan. It's more like a global warming thing. But
okay.
it's basically it's like a nature show, right?
Yeah.
Do you know David Attenborough, who did like
No.
Well, there was the famous one. Is it also called Our Planet or like This Planet or something like that?
Okay.
It's a show from like a few years ago.
All right.
That it's like a nature show. So now they did a show with the same guy. He's like 80-something, old English guy. He's the narrator. He narrates it, and it's basically it's a nature show, but it doesn't only shows like the animals and the nature and stuff. It also shows you how we're destroying it and what impact it will have on the planet and also on like the animals that are living there. So it's like it's each episode is about a different habitat. So you have like the poles, you have jungles, you have like deserts, coastal water, high seas. I don't remember, like a few other like savannas, sort of like not desert but like fields and stuff, like grasslands and stuff. And each habitat is like it just show you like the different animals, and then they say, well, let's say the poles, right? It's like the first episode, or the second episode. The first one's like a general episode. So it's like the bears, they do this and this and this. They hunt like this. They do that.
Okay.
And then, but because now the water are getting warmer, so the North Pole is mostly frozen sea. There's no land there, just like in the South Pole. So those frozen seas, they're like they're the polar bear
home.
They're the natural habitats where they live, and when those like melt, then they basically have to swim. There's a shot there that this just bear just swims in the middle of nothing. Because his iceberg melted. So he has like to swim for like, maybe he dies, maybe he does, maybe he reached like a different iceberg. So it's interesting, and what I like about it is that each habitat, it's very interesting. I like nature shows, so you can see like the animals and how they hunt and how they interact and stuff.
It's cool.
And how they're connected, like, and stuff like that. But if they're like there's like symbiosis with them and stuff like that, and but it also shows you like so if you go on their websites, like each habitat has like a short video, like a 30 seconds video, 40 seconds video on how, like, what we can do to save that certain habitat. So it shows you like the animal, how they're gonna get how global warming affects them, or the climate affects them. And then on the website, it's like a short video what you can do to stop that. So like in the poles example, it's like, well, use more renewable energy, like solar energy or wind energy, and less like fuels and stuff. Buy this and that and not that, stuff like that. And it's very interesting, and it's not like, it doesn't even like it's not like be vegan sort of thing. It's more like
be more aware,
drive electrical cars, kind of thing. But they don't like preach. They don't preach to you. It's not like they just tell you, well, this is what's happening. They show it to you as well. Sometimes very like it's very straightforward. Like there's a scene there where like, I don't remember how it's called, like manatees or something. It's big sea creatures. They climb because their habitat is slowly destroyed. Their ice disappears, so they have to find like different places to rest after they hunt. So they have to like climb cliffs. Because the normal parts where so let's say there's a lot like big ice patch, right? And it slowly disappears, and there's a small part of land left, so there's not enough room for all of them to rest there. So they have to move to other places. They have to climb cliffs and stuff. And because they can't really see good on land, they just fall off the cliff. and
Okay,
I mean they're very
yeah.
heavy
Yeah,
on land. They
they're
can
very
barely
heavy,
move,
yeah.
and they don't see well. They're
Right,
good in the water.
right. Okay.
So they climb the cliffs, and then they don't see well, and they
Yeah.
just fall off the cliffs.
Yeah.
And it's like a scene of like dozens of manatees just fall off a cliff.
Whoa.
It's very it's very
Yeah.
graphic.
Okay.
And but they don't preach to you. They're just like, this is what's happening. This is what's happening.
They're showing you what's happening.
Showing you
basically.
what's happening, and if you want to do something about it, then go
You
to
can
our
do-
website.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what
Yes,
you can do.
Yeah, easily.
That's a good idea.
It's a very good
It's a
idea.
good idea.
It's a very good idea.
Yeah.
And it's an excellent show. It's very.
Yeah.
I mean, the footages there are amazing. The quality of like, you can see like if they shoot like bugs and stuff, or like
Yeah.
birds, and you can see like everything so specific,
Wow.
and it's
That's really cool. Wait,
it's an
what's
amazing
the show called?
It's called Our Planet.
Our Planet.
Yeah,
Okay.
on Netflix. Yeah, if you care about and if you like animals, you should definitely watch it.
All right. Cool,
Definitely.
Man. That's really cool.
If you like, if
But
you care
what-
about the planet, if you
Yeah.
care about our planet,
If you care about our planet, what I'm encouraged by is that okay, I don't know if encouraged is the right word to say it, but basically, you know how when we were kids they used to talk about overpopulation all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, so that's not happening. Statistically, there are not enough.
human overpopulation.
Statistically, humans are now at a point that even in third world countries, they're not making enough babies to go above 12 billion people. So we're going to get to a peak at around between 9 and is it 9? I think around 10 or 11 billion humans, and then we're going to go down from there.
All right.
Yeah, and so there's just, I mean, there'll be less people consuming, so I guess it's good for the environment. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's also the it's not just like the amount of people; it's the methods we use to.
yeah. But I guess it's becoming better and better all the time. Like I know a running car today spends less fuel than a standing car in 1970.
Yeah, but so cars are a part of it, but if we're talking about global warming, and it's caused by different reasons. Some of them are
Man-made and
industries, right? Energy.
Yeah,
energy.
okay.
So the way we produce energy right now, for cars, for industry,
Yeah.
for
Whatever.
Like one of the most polluting industries are the meat industry, for example.
Yes.
And that's why a lot of people stop eating meat, by the way. Not just because it's cruel, just
Yeah.
because of the polluting. Yeah, but I mean,
We have a good friend.
we need to
that
change.
stopped eating meat like that.
Because it's polluting to the planet.
We should bring him one time to talk about physics. He's doing his PhD in Harvard on physics.
Yeah,
The guy's insanely clever. Like
he's a genius.
He's the only guy that got an exemption from math class that in high school that I've ever heard of.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's more about changing the way we produce energy.
Yeah. Okay.
So moving more to electrical, solar, wind.
Yeah.
Renewable energy.
Yeah, I heard the problem with renewable energy is that we can't store it. We're not that good at storing that energy.
I guess we need to improve.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
that's the main thing. It shows. It also, I mean, there are things that are getting better.
For sure.
They're showing, let's say, this some seas, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't know, but there's a huge problem with corals.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
because the seas are getting warmer, corals are basically now 50% of the corals in the world they're dead. Basically, they die. They're getting. It's called bleaching. They're becoming white. They're losing their pigments. They're becoming white, and they die.
Yeah.
So about 50% of the world corals are now dead.
Whoa.
Because the temperatures of the seas are rising.
Wow.
And it's a fact. It's a big factor, or it affects the fish population in a very very
everything's
big way.
connected.
Because fish.
Actually, I saw a video. You know Nas Daily?
No.
Oh, you.
I think.
That he's like, that's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Yes.
He's this Arab Israeli guy traveling all over the world. Palestinian. I don't know what he wants to be called.
You told me about him.
He's really cool. So he did a video about this Israeli couple. They're both marine biologists, and they invented a type of concrete that it's not actually concrete, but it's as hard and as usable as concrete, that they can use, and corals can grow on it, because on regular concrete they can't grow.
Okay.
I'm not sure what exactly about it. I think it just has different. It's not the same material, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's not bad for them, and it's not smooth like concrete. It's rough, so they can cling onto it. They can hold on to it, and they can make it their home. And in a lot of places, they're using concrete by the shores. You know, like on a inside to
piers
break,
and stuff.
and break the waves, or wave breakers, whatever.
Yeah.
Which I thought that's actually really, really cool.
It's cool. I don't know if you can actually make a change, but well, I mean, you need much bigger scale.
Yeah. I think at some point they're gonna
change,
invent a bacteria that eats plastic, and then they're just gonna like take all the plastic from the ocean and just feed it to the bacteria. And
See, but that's the problem. When we think about oceans, we always think about like garbage and stuff, like plastic and stuff like that. But actually, the sea is getting warmer. That's maybe the biggest factor that is now threatening fish populations. And less fish means less other creatures. And basically, they're saying that in the program in our planet that seas are going to be, if it keeps like that, and corals are going to be mostly destroyed in the next few decades, then the seas are going to be mostly filled with jellyfish.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And jellyfish are, in terms of like symbiosis with other animals,
they're terrible.
And they don't produce anything. They don't give anything.
No.
In terms of like minerals or stuff to other creatures, they don't have any kind of. They're basically like a totally selfish animal. They don't do like anything for the seas. Like they don't help other fish. They're not food for other fish.
You know that I heard that actually one of the biggest problems ecologically that our planet ever had was the release of oxygen into the atmosphere by plants. There was a lot less oxygen. I'm talking about like, prehistoric times. And there was a lot less oxygen. And then plants came and they started releasing oxygen, and it really cooled down the atmosphere. And there was like a biological holocaust, kind of, just metaphorically. But so many species just of bacteria or other life forms just died because it was too cold for them.
Well, now plants are now we're also destroying those, so we'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll be okay. We can bring back prehistoric bacteria.
They're planting. They're cutting down jungles. For wood and even just for space as well. Yeah. And they're planting palm trees instead.
Okay.
I've seen, because they produce the oil or palm tree oil.
Yeah.
Or it's a very good. It has a very good produce. The oil tree, the palm tree.
Yeah.
So they're planting a lot of those, and those as well aren't. So they can't really support any species like, let's say, like apes or stuff like that. That usually
live on them.
Some different sort of like birds and stuff. They cannot really be a habitat for. Yeah. So that's one problem our jungles have, for example. But watch our planet. Yeah. Watch it.
All right, we'll watch it. It's
good. You'll enjoy and learn new things. And it's always important.
That's cool, man. I started reading a book. And I think we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll go sit in the sun a little bit. It's amazing weather now in Israel. So it's by Douglas Murray, who's a British journalist. Yeah. And it's called The Strange Death of Europe, which is basically talking about different things that have been happening over the past several decades. So let's say since the end of World War II, that had been happening in Europe, that led to the problems Europe is facing today. So basically the immigration, because they needed workers in Europe after World War II, so many young people died. He's also talking about the guilt that a lot of Europeans feel of, colonization, World War II, whatever, and the birth rate also. Like Europe has, I think, like one of the lowest. Like I don't think there's a country in Europe with a birth rate that is over 2.1, and 2.1 is what you need in order for your population to have growth, basically.
Yeah. Because 2 people produce 2.1 people.
Well,
that's growth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really really interesting.
But hold on. Is immigration a problem?
Well, depends. Like, what kind of immigration are you doing?
Yeah,
you know?
there's I
personally, I don't mind immigration that much. It just depends how many people are you bringing, what are the qualities of those people, and yeah, that's.
So it's basically, the book is like it's like a historic point of view. Like he's showing what happened. That
he's
what's his point basically? What does he bring to the table?
Well, I haven't read all of it yet. I'm only like halfway through, but basically he's describing processes that have been happening in Europe. So let's say with the immigration, he's trying to explain the reasons as to why Europe started with mass immigration in the first place.
Yeah.
Which was to bring workers. So it was mostly, let's say, and most countries brought from former colonies. So France used to bring workers from Morocco and Tunisia. The UK brought immigrants from India and Pakistan, and so on and so on. But it's really, really interesting. Really interesting. I highly recommend it.
What's the name again?
The Strange Death of Europe by Douglas Murray. I think it's a good.
Okay.
It's a really good book.
So we recommended the show and a TV show and a book today.
Yeah.
Next time we'll recommend a restaurant
and a movie.
And a movie. Yeah. Watch Game of Thrones, people. It's good.
Oh my God, that episode.
You know I haven't.
Can we do spoilers? Can we do spoilers? Just for the ending. 30 seconds of like, let's talk about how.
I don't think you don't spoil anything by now.
Yeah, I think if you haven't watched it, it's your problem, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Okay,
yeah.
so
it's a weekly show. Next episode is 2 days from now. So
okay, but in a minute, what do you think about the last episode?
I'm not a Game of Thrones. I don't watch the show.
Oh, you read the books.
I watched the first season of the show. Then I started watching the second, and I was like, I don't know about that. I mean, I didn't really understand. I didn't like the fact that I watched a whole season with characters I liked and stuff, and then the next season was like a whole different bunch of people, and I was confused. I didn't like it.
Everybody dies. That's the point.
So I was watching like I started reading the books. I read like 3 books, and because I don't really read that much anymore, so I stopped that as well. But I have watched the last episode. I mean,
really?
Yeah,
but you don't understand what's happening.
No, but I understand what's happening. It's very simple.
Okay. Fine.
I know the characters as well because I was reading the books.
Yeah. Okay.
And I recognize them and stuff. And it's not hard. I mean, there isn't much. There are a lot of characters, but they're not difficult to remember.
Yeah,
I think
it's true.
I mean, the important ones. I don't care about like.
Yeah.
The Hound. I don't know.
Whoever. Sir, what's his name that dies? You know, whatever.
I thought it was. You're better off watching. I don't know.
A different show.
No, not. Damn, I forgot the name of that movie. Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
I thought I might as well just watch Lord of the Rings and be done with it. It's better.
Lord of the Rings is amazing. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
The fight was good. It was I enjoyed it. I thought the end was cool.
The battle?
Yeah, the battle.
Yeah, it was cool. I'll tell you what. Cool. My problem is so I'm a big fan, as you know, of history and war and battles.
Yeah, didn't the strategy they used was fucked up?
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
absolutely terrible.
Yeah, the strategy was so bad.
Basically, so you have the Dothrakis, right? They're light cavalry. Okay,
yeah.
Light cavalry is used for flanking.
That's exactly what I was telling everyone. That's
yeah,
exactly
you
what
wouldn't
I was saying.
charge. Okay, but let's say that you're using them as heavy cavalry, which is used for charging.
Yeah.
First of all, okay, there are cases in history where you just charge straight forward, especially when your enemy doesn't have a way of dealing with heavy cavalry. Okay, fine, but that's your goal right now for the worst army, like the scariest army you've faced ever. You're just gonna charge all the no,
especially when you have a castle.
Yeah,
what is the point?
Yeah, if walls were not effective, people wouldn't build walls. So use the walls and then use the cavalry to flank. Also, who puts the infantry behind the artillery?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
They fired like 3 shots and then okay, the ceasefire, stop it. It was
Yeah, their strategy was absolutely
crap.
moronic.
Absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
And
I was saying during the episode, I was saying to my girlfriend how bad. And I was saying the exact same thing. Who charges with cavalry?
Yeah, and it was
cavalry is used for flanking for special missions.
Exactly.
The most
use them from the sides to break the enemy's formation. But visually, it was good. It was good. Like
it was okay.
With the swords when they all run and then you see just the lights one by one turning out. That was crazy.
Okay, you know how Lord of the Rings battle have like those moments you say like, oh fuck yes. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember like I think it was Helm's Deep, the Battle of Helm's Deep? You remember Legolas?
The second movie, yeah.
Legolas where he was like sliding on a piece of like wood like plank on stairs and like firing arrows.
It's
at
a shield.
enemies.
It's an enemy's shield. He was sliding. It was amazing.
There wasn't any part like that. There wasn't any part except like maybe the last part, the ending, like with Arya.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That you said like fuck yes. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There wasn't any part where you say like, that's so cool. Most of it was like Jon Snow can't control his dragon. Fucking the fat guy Sam whatever lies on the floor crying. It's just you don't look at the characters and say fuck yes man, fuck yeah. Arya hiding. It's like I mean I don't know.
Yeah, I think they could have done. I think it was good. I think they could have done it better. In my opinion, it was good. They could have done it better.
I think the only cool part was probably the ending.
Yeah.
The ending was good. You know, I was saying to my girlfriend when we were watching it. I was saying like, those episodes always have the same story. It's always like, or those like battles. It's like, you lose. Then you have like
here comes the cavalry.
Everyone looks to the I don't know, looks to the distance, and then someone comes to save them, right?
Yeah.
But she told me like, I mean, you have Gandalf, right? I think it was Helm's Deep as well.
Yeah.
Lose. To do. Everyone looks. Gandalf's coming with cavalry. Yeah. But she told me like, but there's no one that can who will come. There's not a single character who you can say like,
it's true.
They can come and save them.
It's true.
So by the end we were like, okay, they're probably all gonna die.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
That's what I thought.
And then there was a part with Arya, and then she told me this is your to do.
Yeah.
The Arya is your to do, even though she didn't have a horn.
It's true.
And then I told her we should have known because, I mean, I think the last like 30 minutes before it happens, you don't see her. There's barely any scenes.
It's true.
Any scenes
Yeah.
So they did it well because I didn't think like, where's Arya? What is she doing now?
It's true. I also
because
didn't think about that.
they show like if. There are a few scenes in a row or long scenes where she appears.
Yeah.
And then for like half an hour, nowhere to be found. And you don't think about
and you expect it also to be other characters, not her, you know, that are destined to be the savior. Yeah. But then she comes and
I guess she's a good character to do it because she's brave. She has the capabilities of like the fighting capabilities. She's smart. And I mean, I think she's like a good, like she can sneak around because she's like kind of small and stuff. I think she's the perfect character.
It was great. And I'll tell you what. So Miguel Sapochnik, he's the director of that episode, and all the battles that they have, he directs them.
Okay.
And he's directing episode 5, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Episode 5.
Yeah.
Well, how many episodes are there? 7?
In this season, 6.
6?
Yeah. So there's 4, 5, and 6. That's it.
And that's it.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
I think what I did is the best. Watch the first season and the last season. That's it. Fuck the middle. Everything in the middle it all leads to the end anyway. So, who cares?
All right, man. It was good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's go sit in the sun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
Yalla, guys.
Have a nice week.
Bye.
Bye.